So today I want us to do a very interesting video, but before that, let's get the introduction rolling. Another thing that I'm so grateful about is the gift of health, good health. Let me tell you something. In 2003, when I was just young, I think I was 9 years old, I suffered a terrible illness that didn't have a cure and didn't have a name. I was taken to different hospitals. They tried treating me, but it didn't work out for me. At some point, everyone thought my story was gonna be over and everything about me was coming to an end. All I could do was just to be laid on the bed. I would vomit and poo on myself. It was the saddest time and most demoralizing part of my life. But when God came through for me, He healed me. And since that day, I have never fallen sick like that day again. God has always given me good health and He has protected me from any danger that might put me down and make me sick. So I thank God for good health. I don't know how to repay Him back, but I'm so grateful. So thank you so much for stopping by to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back. My name is Devance Ogweno and this is Devance Empire. I want us today to do a very interesting kind of a video. I'm gonna answer 17 questions that are so personal and emotional. And the aim of this video is to encourage somebody, give hope, inspire, educate, and to inform the person watching this video. Without wasting much time, let's get into the video. Question number 1. What makes you unique? What makes me unique is the fact that I am me. I was created in God's image, and so far so good. I've never come across somebody who looks like me, whether identical or somehow similar. I haven't yet. So I consider myself unique because of the abilities that God also gave me that helped me survive and maneuver across in this world. Question number 2. Who are the special people in your life? There are so many special people in my life. Just to mention a few, that is family and friends. Yes, I consider family as my number 1 partners in life. Without them, I couldn't be here today. And I also consider the fact that I have good friends. God gave me good friends who have always been useful to me in my life and in my times of need. I don't take that for granted. What do you ever regret in your life? There are so many things that I have ever regretted in life, but the one that hurts me the most is the fact that I grew up without biological parents. I know you know what it feels like to grow up without parents and also to grow up with them. When you have parents, your parents tend to sacrifice everything for you, especially a father and a mother. They will do anything to provide for their child. They will do anything to ensure that you never lack at all. But when you grow without them, it's a different case. Most of these things and privileges that you might want, you have to work very hard to get them. Unlike when you have parents who will work hard on your behalf to get them. Do you think money is important and why? Yes, to me, money is very important. And most particularly in this world that we live in today, without money, you can't make it. Money has been used to measure wealth, and that is one thing that everyone is striving very hard to get. They will call you successful depending with the money that you have in your account. Without money, you shall be called poor. And when you have too much of it, you shall be called rich. Are you happy with the life you're living today? I would say I am not happy with the life I'm living today, but I am at least contented with the little that I have, but I am still striving very hard to get to the point where I want to be before the days that I was given by God come to an end. What are your greatest fears? Number 1 fear of mine is heights. I fear heights. I think I am the first person who will clearly say loud and clear that I fear aeroplanes, and I'm not looking forward to boarding one any soon. Yes, because I fear heights so much. I've always had these bad dreams in where I'm on a high place and I'm supposed to go down, and it's so scary and I feel so worn out. Every time when I wake up from that kind of dream, I feel like I'm energyless, like I have no energy. I also fear growing old. I can't imagine that one day this beautiful skin will fade away and I will look so wrinkled and very old, you know. I also fear dying. I can't imagine that one day I will sleep on a coffin and that I will be dead and be buried and never to come back again. It's those are my 3 strongest fears in life. When was the last time you cried and why? Crying is normal to every human being. It's normal. Do not fear crying. Sometimes people cry in public, some people prefer crying in private. But for me, when I try to remember the last time I cried, it's not so long ago, like about 3 days ago. I was just lying on my bed on my own, and I was just trying to meditate upon life, just trying to think about the reality of life, that just I'm not growing any younger, I'm growing older day by day, and still looking at the fact that I have not achieved the many things that I was brought to do. It breaks my heart so much. I can't imagine growing 30 while still poor and suffering in this world, and that is one thing that makes me cry every time that I am on my own. And when I remember that, I feel so broken and hurt. Growing old each and every day, yet I have nothing to count on my name. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I see myself with a degree. I really want to complete school. One day, one time, I just want to go back to school and do a degree course on one thing that I love doing. And that is actually something to do with the internet or computer, IT, information and technology. Generally, I just love technology, because without technology, I couldn't have made it this far, and I'm so grateful because God gave me the brains, and I have made it through in life because of technology. So 5 years from now, maybe I'll be completed the school. I'm also trusting on God that I'll be independent. That is one thing that I want so much. I'm working on being independent, where you don't have to depend on anyone, but you just depend on yourself as an independent thinker in everything that you are doing in this life that we are living in. If you had power, what would you change in your country? There was a time in my life I wanted to be a politician, and the reason why I wanted to be a politician was because for you to transform your community and the lives of people in this world we live in, you need power. And for you to get power, you need to access, politics or government offices. Once you have the power, then you can change anything that you want to do, because you'll have the money and you'll have the voice. And one thing that I have always worked hard to change is poverty. The poverty levels in my, my community or society have been so high, and I know what poverty can do. Poverty has done the worst of all, and I don't want even to wish for my greatest enemy anything to do with poverty. So eradicating poverty is one thing that I have always wanted to do, with or without power. But now, because the question is so direct, with the power, what can you change? I want to change the fact that poverty has taken over many lives and has actually killed so many innocent souls. If we can change and eradicate poverty, then this world will be a better place for us, for the generations to come, and for our children's children. What has desperation ever made you to do? Desperation is one thing that no one can avoid, but when it comes, you must find a solution out of it. I have lied because of desperation. Yes, I've lied to win favors or to get favors from people because I was so desperate. On my own, I couldn't make it. So I told lies so that I could get assistance from somebody else. Once in a while, it worked well for me, but in most cases, it failed. Have you ever been accused falsely? Yes. And I remember I was at the age of 8 and 9. One day when I was young, staying in Nairobi with a family member, and I remember at that particular time I was accused wrongly of sending away the house help, and I was really beaten. I was punished so badly and severely. The impact of the punishment that I was given on that day was so severe, and they left me with permanent scars on my body. Today I look at the scars on my body, I touch them, I feel them, I find myself crying and shedding tears because it reminds me of that particular day when I was beaten so badly. I was beaten like nobody's business, and it just left me with permanent scars on my body that can never go away. So every time I look at them, it reminds me of that particular day. What was life like growing up in an orphanage? To me, it was good. It was so good because in the orphanage that I grew in, none of us had their parents, and if there were people who had their parents, there were very few. You could count them, like there were very few. Most of us in the orphanage didn't have a father, or didn't have a mother, or didn't have both parents or any relative to associate themselves with. So most of us came in here and we knew ourselves that we had no father, we had no mother, we had no one, but we were on our own. So one thing we learned is that we had to live together as brothers and sisters. Anyone you came across was like your brother or sister. And that one is something that I learned from the orphanage up to today. What is the greatest lesson you ever learned from the orphanage? That helping is divine. Helping is something that comes from the heart. You must learn to help people. You must learn to give. You must learn to share the little that you have with other people who need it more than you. Because sharing is caring. If someone never made the sacrifices for us to be in the orphanage, then today we couldn't be people. Today no one would know us. Today no one will be telling of our stories. But because somebody sacrificed the little that they had for us, that is why we are who we are today. And that is one thing that I learned, that any time in your life when you are in a position to help people, help, because you don't know what tomorrow holds for you. What is your source of income? The internet. Yes, the internet has been feeding me from the first day I learned about the internet, and it's still feeding me to date. The internet has given me knowledge that I didn't get from school. The internet has taught me so many things that people never taught me. All I just need to do is to buy data, and once I can access the internet, I can learn anything I want to learn. I can become who I want to become through the internet. So the internet is my source of income that I value so much, and I don't take it for granted. I always want to learn many things because the internet has actually given us that opportunity and platform to learn anything that we want to learn and to know anything that we want to know from the internet. Have you ever lost a loved one to death? Yes, I've lost several people that I loved to death, and it's very sad that they can never come back anymore. Just to mention a few, my late father, he died when I was only 2 years old, and that one changed everything in my life. Honorable Naftali Mata, the director of the orphanage that I learned in, Gethsemane Garden Christian Academy, Hope for Africa. It was so sad losing him, and his death really affected so many people, including myself and all those people who are depending on him. Other people that I lost are people like my stepmothers, 2 of them. I lost a friend of mine, Betha Awur. She was a very good girl, and I can't imagine that she's no longer here with us. What do you always thank God for? Number 1, I thank Him for everything. Whether good or bad, I'm always thankful to God, because I am sure that He didn't create me and bring me this far to suffer One day I know things shall be fine, and we shall give a story about the days when things were not fine. Another thing that I'm so grateful about is the gift of health, good health. Let me tell you something. In 2003, when I was just young, I think I was 9 years old, I suffered a terrible illness that didn't have a cure and didn't have a name. I was taken to different hospitals. They tried treating me, but it didn't work out for me. At some point, everyone thought my story was gonna be over and everything about me was coming to an end. All I could do was just to be laid on the bed. I would vomit and poo on myself. It was the saddest time and most demoralizing part of my life. But when God came through for me, He healed me, and since that day, I have never fallen sick like that day again. God has always given me good health, and He has protected me from any danger that might put me down and make me sick. So I thank God for good health. I don't know how to repay Him back, but I'm so grateful. What is the last thing that you can tell your viewers? Always work hard and be nice to people. That is it. Always work hard and be nice to people. So guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. You know, it means a lot to me to answer those questions. They have reminded me a lot where I've come from, and we are still having a journey ahead of us. It's not a smooth journey. It's a journey of ups and downs, hills and mountains, valleys all over. But we have to maneuver. We have to cross until we get to our destination. So guys, continue watching my videos. Always subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means much to me. And until next time, always work hard and be nice to people. This is Devance Empire. End of discussion.